Welcome back live to OTR. We have gathered our Sunday roundtable in a virtual sense. Social distancing still a necessity. We're joined by Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh, Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Great to have you with us, guys.
So the states are starting to open up. Georgia, South Carolina, Alaska among the first. Not here, obviously, but what's the biggest fear for those in Massachusetts as we see these other states open up? Let's start with you, Marianne.
COVID-19. We're not even anywhere near getting out of this. And the fact is the Boston Globe had 12 pages of obituaries today, 12 pages. So that tells you everything. And I think the fact is people in Massachusetts are very smart. They know what's going on, but their concern as we deal with the healthcare piece is the economic piece. People need funds, they need food. And while nonprofits and neighbors are really stepping up, I think the state's going to have to start thinking about stepping up more because these federal packages aren't big enough and not getting to people fast enough to help people get through this stretch, and we've got a ways to go.
Rob, should we be a little wary here in Massachusetts as we watch these other states open up?
Well, sure, because there could be a circular effect where they open too early while we are smart and careful along with some of our neighboring states. And then it comes back around to us, whether it's in a couple months or 6 months, because Tennessee and Georgia or Florida acted too soon. So we have to be concerned about that. At the same time, Marianne's right. I mean, there are vice grips on the economy right now here in Massachusetts, and there's a balance between health and the economy. If we constrict the economy too much, don't get people back to work, there are bad things that can happen that are as bad as COVID in terms of starvation and people taking cavalier decisions with their health, not getting health care. So the economy really does matter.
It does. I think it's a false choice. We have to do both. And if 49 other states are going to be dumb, let them be dumb. We're going to be smart here.
Let's move on to the next one because, we just showed you a video of Georgia opening up. So here in Massachusetts, in fact, there's even talk of banning in-store grocery shopping. The governor doesn't like that idea. But one, could it happen? And two, Rob, we're not yet over the peak, so could it happen?
I think it could. I mean, we've seen terrible tragedies with people who work in grocery stores who have died from COVID-19. Very unfortunate. Obviously, their crowded environments can be like restaurants, even though there are limitations on people going in. There is a curbside pickup solution for a lot of people. So you have to wonder, maybe we'll move more in that direction where they're still open, but the staff is doing the shopping and the rest of us are picking up curbside.
Marianne, what do you think?
Well, the other thing we can do is let restaurants sell groceries. Somerville's doing it, Boston's now doing it. I know of one on the Cape that's doing it. Statewide, every restaurant should be able to sell groceries and other products because they order them anyways. And there are restaurants in many neighborhoods where there aren't grocery stores or they're closer to the home so people can get them more conveniently or they can be delivered. And I think that would be a win-win for everybody. It would help the restaurants, it would help people get food safely and not tax the grocery stores the way they are now.
Governor Baker finally made the decision to close schools until the fall. Did Baker take too long to make that decision, Rob?
Well, no way. I think it was a careful and an appropriate decision. Remember, every day, every week out of school is a loss of learning, especially for elementary and younger students where technology, distance learning does not work as well. So to take all of the learning that was going to happen in June off the board was a serious decision. I think the governor made it the right way.
Do you agree with Rob, Marianne? Was he smart to wait as long as he did?
You know, there's a little gas clutch thing you have to do with these decisions, and they're all big. But the fact is, I think as soon as you have the information, let people know. People are smart. They overwhelmingly support Charlie Baker's stewardship of this pandemic. Marty Walsh, local officials, not Donald Trump. So the more people know, the more they can get acclimated to it, the better off they are.
Harvard took its time giving back the relief money days after Yale and Princeton immediately announced that they would not. Marianne, start with you. Anyone surprised here?
No. But,
no.
but what's worse is the multi-million and billion-dollar companies who did get this money and small businesses did not. And that's really the rub here. There are all these institutions, whether you have billion-dollar endowments or billion-dollar business, who got money when small businesses didn't. Yet states like Maine, 15,000 businesses got theirs. Elizabeth Warren's opening an investigation into whether banks played favorites. Small business needs the money first. People need the money first. Then everybody else get in line.
Rob?
I mean, small business should have been at the head of the line, no question about it. I do think we can't totally close out larger businesses or education institutions because their staff do need to get paid as well. Not all of them, Harvard can, but not all of them can afford to pay their workers without federal assistance.
So Barack Obama, the former president, applauded Governor Baker's contact tracing plan. It's heavy on personnel and a little less reliant on technology. Public health officials are watching this really closely. Will Baker emerge as a leader by moving quicker than other states and even the federal government on this, Rob?
Well, it depends if it works. I mean, by all accounts, it should work, but the governor has to hire a lot of people to do this. Everybody is learning and being entrepreneurial on the move. I mean, we're building the airplane in the air here. So he'll be a leader if it works, and hopefully it does, and other states will come on. But the bottom line is we need more testing. I would love to see the governor do more to beat the drum. Tell the feds that we need more testing. It's really the only way out of this.
How do you predict Governor Baker will come out of this, Marianne?
Well, I agree with Rob on both how it performs and the testing. But again, the state has to do all this. The federal government and Donald Trump aren't going to help us at all. More important than a compliment from Barack Obama, which is always nice, is the fact that Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, and J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, are working with Charlie Baker already to do this program as well. So we have to take everything on ourselves, testing and tracing. Yes, we could absolutely be a leader. We should be a leader given what we do here in Massachusetts and excel at it. And we need to lead the country in doing it.